My thought this morning is on false alarms. How many times have you ever accidentally set off an alarm or, thought there was, an immediate concern about something that in reality, if you just thought about it and, consider all the facts, realized that it wasn't a 911, it wasn't a real alarm, it was a false alarm. Maybe you, as a sense of your false alarm, got other people involved unnecessarily so, and took out of their time and energy and made your problem, their problem, unnecessarily so. That wasn't really, maybe might have been an alarm, but a false alarm of something that really wasn't to the extent of an emergency. And I'm not just talking in the physical realm, I'm talking about emotionally. Have you ever, thought, oh my gosh, I've just got to, we build up these facades in our heads sometimes, oh, I've just got to reach such and such, or, oh wow, I've got to have an answer right now. And you go into hyper acceleration mode of fear and anxiety and having to get something fixed right here, right now, and as opposed to taking a deep breath and is this okay? This is an issue. This maybe is an issue outwardly. Maybe this is an issue with me, but is it a real emergency, or am I making it bigger than what it is? Because I think a lot of things sometimes can trigger things in us, and we might think that they are a dire situation, or we need to get other people involved because maybe we don't want to be accountable ourselves, or maybe we don't know, but sometimes we just don't. We don't want to have to be the decision maker. We want somebody else to make the decision for us, and so we create problems and false alarms, because that's when you get action sometimes, is by presenting something as an immediate need for a reaction when it's really not called for. And again, there's all different kind of examples of false alarms. I mean, they could be, whether it's, like I said, you trigger your alarm system in your house, and and it was an accident, there's really not a burglary going on. And of course, then there's the more, the inner example of, the false alarms that we get ourselves all amped up about, that we think that we need to have knee-jerk reactions to. We need to fix something, an immediate rash decision, mind thought, as opposed to thinking it through and praying about it, thinking it through, being calm, taking a breath. I'm not talking about if your house is on fire, obviously. That's obviously not a false alarm, but I think you know what I'm saying. And so, we need to think those things through. We need to think those things through when we present them to other people, and and not make mountains out of molehills if it's not a real dire emergency within ourselves, or an outward situation that needs immediate, the house is on fire, or electrical, whatever. Now granted, if somebody's having issues within their own emotional being, and they're not healthy, they're not right, if you're having, of course, if you're having emotional problem, wherein you're having issues that you think you want to hurt yourself, or hurt somebody else, by all means, that is a real alarm. And please never not reach out to the right people, to somebody you trust. I would never say that's a false alarm. That is a real deal. But the things that we feel like, sometimes I think that we feel like that are out of our control in the other senses, we make them bigger than what they are. And so we need to identify what a real alarm is versus what's a false alarm. Am I drumming up this stuff in my head? Is it really an issue? Okay? And, not overthink it. I mean, okay, if it's a problem, it's a problem. If it's 911, we know what a 911 is. But if it's something that we're making more of it than what there is, we need to be cognizant to that. We need to calm down. And, not to mention that sometimes when we create enough inner turmoil, unnecessarily so, and then we try to get other people involved for their input or whatever, or to help to fix us or whatever the issue might be, in a sense, we lose their trust in us, because they think we're calling false alarms. They think that we're crying wolf. And so how serious do you want to be taken? And take yourself seriously. Like I said, see it through. Decide what's real. Decide what's a facade. Analyze it. If it's a dire emergency, obviously we all pretty much know the difference. But decide to not create the facades in your mind, not make things bigger than what they are, and minimize your false alarms. Granted, we've all tripped a wire. We've all had accidental false alarms. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that we choose subconsciously that we're making, that affect us, but also other people, that we may lose their faith in us, or their belief in us, if we call enough false alarms. And again, if you've got some issues, please take them to prayer. Talk to somebody you trust, or a friend, a family member, a life coach, whatever it may be, to get the answers you need, so then you don't start making all these false alarms. So anyway, this has been a long one this morning, but there's traffic and all kind of stuff.